This December, as fanboys and fangirls everywhere gather into dimly lit theaters, they will hear the sounds of symphonic drums, brass horns, and the awe-inspiring theme of John Williams. Today I'm here at the Abbey Road Studios to talk about the history of the Star Wars theme.
I know that song. Yeah. I'm a soundtrack collector, and I've collected the scores of great composers from the first pressings, the first time scores got into record stores, which was in the early 50s. I had a huge collection, and for many years there was like a drought. A lot of the great old composers like Dmitri Tiomkin and Max Steiner were no longer writing music anymore, and there was just a real loss of pure symphonic film music. And then when I heard the Reavers and the Cowboys, I said, "My God, this guy must be 80 years old." I really thought, I thought maybe here's some guy who's 80 years old who maybe wrote his greatest scores of his life. And I went to find out who this guy was, and I met this young man named John Williams. I was amazed. I said, "Oh my God, you know, it's a rebirth. Film music is back. It's alive. Hallelujah."
And I was only 75. The theater and opera, musical, comedy, all the rest. The best directors for me are people who are also musical. I think it's part of the art of what they do. You know, I can tell you, with the first day with Steven said, "What are you going to play for Jaws?" I went. He said, "You're kidding."
I said, "You're crazy. This is a serious movie." I thought he was going to say, "No, no, I'm only kidding." And he was about to play this very poetic pastoral symphony. And John said, "No, no, no. You've made a very primal movie. You know, your movie's about the dinosaurs, the ancient world, the land of the giants. It's not about, it's not poetic, it's not art. It's artful." And he played the bass, those basser sounds, which I love.
The nominees for the Best Original Dramatic Score are
Gerald Fried for Birds Do It, Bees Do It.
Alex North for Bite the Bullet.
John Williams for Jaws.
And Jack Nitze for One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest.
Jerry Goldsmith for The Wind and the Lion.
And the winner is John Williams for Jaws.
It was early in the year of 1976 when John Williams won an Oscar for the musical score of Steven Spielberg's film Jaws. During this time, a young director and friend of Spielberg named George Lucas was working on a film called Star Wars.
Okay, cut it.
And.
The mic was in frame.
The mic was in picture.
Oh.
The mic was in picture.
The
mic was in picture.
Everyone back to first position.
The sound department at the it was good fight.
Quickly, it became clear that Star Wars was in dire need of music to bring forth the emotions of the grand space opera that Lucas had envisioned. As George Lucas began to work in the editing room, he would often use music tracks from other films to develop his own ideas and pacing. One of the inspirations for the main title was the title theme from a 1942 film called King's Row. When it was time to find a composer, Lucas asked his friend Spielberg for a suggestion, to which Spielberg enthusiastically recommended John Williams. And the rest is history.
Oh, big moment. Goodness. The winner is John Williams for Star Wars.
It was a pleasure to visit Abbey Road Studios, and one day I wish to visit LA, where John Williams recently recorded the new soundtrack for The Force Awakens. And now I present a small selection of new music from The Force Awakens.
Awakens.